Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got this cool animated grid for you today. We got some call to action modules over an background image there, and they're sort of randomly popping in, fading out. Really cool little feature. If you hover over one, it's going to stay there. It's no longer going to be animating. You can read the text, hit the button if you need to. Same with any of these other ones here. When you take your mouse off again, it'll start animating again. And this is totally responsive. I got it doing exactly the same thing on an iPad. If I hit my F12 key, I'm using Google Chrome. Here it is on a phone. It's actually collapsed down into columns on a phone. But I kept the same structure on the iPad Air as we had on the desktop there, which is this. And again, if you click on it, obviously on an iPad, you'll have to click. It'll stop there. You can read it. You can click on the button. You click off of it, it'll restart animating again. Really easy to do. Really nice little feature to have on your site. So let's get started. I'm going to start a new page in a new tab. We'll give it a title. And of course, use the Divi builder. I'm going to go ahead and build from scratch. Puts in a section by default here. I'm going to throw 3 columns in mine. As we have the transparent header in there, I'm going to give it my section a dark background. You'll be able to see that better in a moment. I'm going to use call to action modules for my grid today. You can mix and match, use whatever you want. You want to make sure they're all the same height though, either by using text or giving them a fixed height over in design. For mine today, I just put in options. Let's say option 1 perhaps. Button. For mine, I think I put select. Obviously put in whatever you want for yours. I know you can't see it yet. It won't appear till we put a link in there. There's way too much text for me. Like I say, you don't want to have too much text in these because when it goes down to tablet and especially mobile, they'll start getting sort of long. But I think this will work for me. I believe that's what I used before. If we drop down just below, we've got the link here. As soon as I put a link in the button there, the button will show up. Perfect. If you want the whole module to link somewhere, you can put the same link or a different link in there if you want to. Always best practice. Leave it opening in the same window if you're linking to your site, in a new tab if you're linking off-site to somebody else's. That way your site will stay open. Now the background, not too keen on that greeny blue color. I'm going to make mine black. I'm going to click on the color field. I'm going to take the opacity just down a little bit so that when we put an image behind there, we'll be able to see a hint of it. Well, let's just darken down our background here so you can see everything at the top and put an image in our row. Give you an idea of what's going to happen. So I'm going to save my changes in my call to action here. Going to go into my section. Going to give it a background. Let's give it a dark background color, perhaps a 2424. Better. You can see the menu up there. Great. Let's go in our row. Green tab for the row, as you saw there. Content, background's always under content. Let's throw in an image. Third tab across is background image. And there's the one I used before. May as well use that again. As you can see, it's behind our little call to action module there because it's in the row. And our little call to action module has a hint of that image in the background there. Perfect. Okay, let's duplicate our module now and actually create our grid. We're just going to save the changes to the row there for a moment. We're going to go back in there and remove padding and change the guttering in a minute. Let's duplicate this. I think I'll go to back-end mode to do this. Little purple button at the bottom. Here it is, wireframe view. I'm going to duplicate. You could do this on the front end. I just find it a lot easier doing it on the back end to do things like this sometimes. Just grab and drop where you want to put these. And I want 6 in total, so I'm just going to do that again. Now that they're there, let's switch back. And here they are. The first thing I want to do is get rid of any gaps between them. Now this is called guttering, gaps beside and below. We can do that easily by going into the row itself. Over to design and sizing, little switch here, it says use custom gutter width. Drag it all the way down to the left, and there's no gutters there. Fantastic. But we've got this bit of image over the top and bottom here. That's padding. If we close up our sizing, go into spacing just below, we'll find padding top. Just put a 0 in there. Hit the chain, it'll do both sides. Fantastic. That's grid is looking the way that we want it now, shape-wise. Now I want some discerning little lines in here when they're in. So I'm going to use borders on our little modules to do that. So if I go in here, let's go into my first call to action. I'm going to go over to design and border right here. I'm going to make sure it's checked for all 4 sides. It will be by default. I'm going to make it 1 pixel. I'm going to make it white in color. But I'm actually going to take the opacity down slightly on it, so it's not quite as defined. So I'm going to click on the color field, roll it up. There's our opacity slider. I'm going to take it down. It's a bit fades in the background. You can still see it nicely, but it's not quite as in your face there. Perfect. Now, of course, I want to do all the others as well. Easiest way to do this, let's go up to our border here, right click on it, extend border styles, everything in this section, all call to actions in this section, and hit extend. Fantastic. We've now got borders on everything. That's great, but we want to create an animation that when these sort of fade in and fade out, they're going to do it at different times. And then they're going to stop when people hover over them. That way we get to see that nice image that's behind. So we're going to go into our first one again there. I'm going to write a little bit of code. I'm going to go over to advanced. I'm going to go down to custom CSS. We're going to use the freeform CSS tab to do this today. To select this particular module, we're going to write selector, S-E-L-E-C-T-O-R. Then we'll open and close some curly brackets. And we want to create an animation for it. So I'm going to say animation, A-N-I-M-A-T-I-O-N, colon. We want to give it a name. Let's call this one perhaps fade 1. And I'm going to run this one for perhaps 10 seconds. And I want it to keep going and going. So I'm going to say infinite. Great. Well, now we told it what we want it to do. We actually have to create this animation that we called fade 1 there. So let's go down. We're going to use keyframes to do this today. And they're great fun to play with. So we're going to say at keyframes, K-E-Y-F-R-A-M-E-S. Then the name we gave it, which was fade 1. Now we can open and close some more curly brackets and create this animation using keyframes over the period of 10 seconds. So at 0%, or when the page actually loads, 0%, beginning of second 1 of our 10 seconds there, we'll open and close some more curly brackets. I want it to be invisible. So I'm going to say opacity, O-P-A-C-I-T-Y, colon, 0, which is totally invisible. Bump, it's gone. You may have noticed that there. Then when it gets to actually about halfway along, I want it to be fully visible. I'm going to copy from the beginning of the 0 there to our first curly bracket, Control C. I'm going to drop down one. I'm going to paste it in below, Control V to paste. I'm going to change that to 50. I'm going to change that to a 1, which is fully visible. So at the 5-second mark, it's going to be fully visible. And it's going to fade in over that time. But really, I want it to stay invisible for about 2.5 seconds, which would be 25%. By Trod Circles Acro. And then I want to fade it in to 50%. Then I want it to fade out at 75 to 100%. So we can comma separate these and add some more values. Just put a comma in there. I'm going to say I want the same thing at 25%. So it's going to say invisible from 0 to 25%. Then at 100% after the 50, I want it to be same. So again, comma, 100%. And here I want it to stay visible perhaps till 75%, another 2.5 seconds. So again, just need to put the 75% in there and it will fade out when it gets back to 100. And if we look at that little square now, it should be doing just that. Well, that's great. But when they hover over it, I want it to stop so they can read the writing at their own speed and they can select the button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this top bit again from selector to our first curly bracket down there. Control C to copy. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to paste it in there. Control V. I'm going to change our animation from fade to none, N-O-N-E. Right after the R of selector there, put a colon with no gap. Important, don't put a gap in there, and no gap, and we're going to say the word hover. So when they hover over it, it's now going to stop. So they can read the writing, click on the button. Fantastic. But of course, we want these to be extended to these other modules here. We can do that very easily. Same way as we did this before. Roll up to the blue writing or custom CSS. Let's right click. Extend custom CSS styles. All call to actions within this row or section. Doesn't matter. It'll do the same. Fantastic. We can save that now. Now they're all going to be coming in and out at the same timing. I know it doesn't look like it because I've stopped and started them at different times with my mouse here. So to change it so they're independent, and of course you'd want to change the title in links in each one. I'm going to go into my next one here. Call this one option 2. Obviously you'd want to change your link and whatever you want to down there. But the important thing is to go into our custom CSS. I'm going to change the timing on this. Let's maybe make this one perhaps 16 seconds. We need to change the name as well. Fade 1, Fade 2. And make sure you change it down here as well. Once you've done that one, we'll move on to the next one. And again, I'm going to make this one option 3. Change your button link if you need to. Over to Advanced Custom CSS. I'm going to change this to Fade 3. And make it perhaps 20 seconds. Change the name down here in the animation. Make sure you do that too. We'll save that one. And I'll pause the video. I'm going to do exactly the same with the last 3. Okay. I've just done the last one now, so they've got different timings on each of these, and I've changed the titles, and obviously you want to change the link on the buttons too. But if I go down to tablet mode now, it's still going to work, but it's going to be broken up. They're going to be stacking on top of each other. It's not really what I want. I like them to still be in that grid form when we're down here. Now when it goes to cell phone, that I don't mind so much because they're just going to be too small if I have them in a grid form on a phone. So let's go back to our desktop here. We're going to add a little bit of code. I'm going to go into my row, the green tab. I'm going to go over to Advanced. I'm going to go down to Custom CSS again. This time I'm going to go over to my module elements. I'm going to roll down to the main elements. I'm going to say display. DISPLAY, flex, FLEX, semicolon. Just move this out of the way. If I hit the mobile tablet version now, we've got a grid on the tablet also. And of course, it's still animating, which is fine. They're a little bit longer. If you wanted to hide the text on mobile, you could go back into your modules, go into the tablet version, and just display different text. Really easy to do, but I'm happy with that. But on the actual mobile version, it's not going to work. There's just too much stuff there to squish into that little screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll over here, main element, get the little icon up. Looks like a mobile phone. Make sure we're on mobile phone. We should be if we're on mobile view down here. I'm going to say display, block, BLOCK. And then I'll bring it back to how it should be, which is stacked on the mobile. As you can see, as I hover over these, actually as I tap on them, they'll stay there, as you saw earlier. Fantastic. So if you've done everything correctly, this should all be working. Let's save draft. And we'll exit the visual builder. And here we have our little grid. As you can see, we've got our little blocks coming in at various different times. If I hover over any one of them, it's going to pause, read the writing, click on the button, take my mouse off, it's going to start back up on its little cycle again. And if I have a look on tablet, it should still be our grid. Here we are on the iPad Air. It's still doing its thing. Of course, this time they can click on it, it'll stay there. They can read it, click on the button if they need to, click off of it, it'll start doing its thing again. And if we go down to a mobile phone, you know what's going to happen there. It's going to stack on top. Absolutely perfect. And again, once they click on it, it's going to appear. They can do their thing. Fantastic. So I hope you've enjoyed this today. As usual, I'll put that code down below for anybody who wants to copy and paste it. As I mentioned before, it's a good idea to write your CSS code. It will take your editing skills to the next level. So don't forget, if you've got any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you. We'll make a little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.